down to deck. How you doing, guys?
Thank you.
It's like watching a film, but then all of a sudden we're in a film.
Roughly 5,000 metres above sea level. To give you an idea, that's about 700 metres on top of Kilimanjaro.
Greece Osaka is still going.
Alright guys, cool. So that was obviously a short Honda ad who are sponsoring the Armchair Bench Festival, and now we are back with Ed March of C90 Adventures, and I'm really pleased to share that he is at least wearing a t-shirt. Ed, how are you doing?
Don't tempt me.
And we've had a few people comment on the feed being like, we want to see him topless, so you are disappointing a few. But
No! It was always going to happen. Is he the first naked guest? This could be a new direction for the Armchair Adventure Festival.
Yeah, be like the late night screening sort of stuff, won't it? There you go. Cool.
Love it.
Right. Okay then, guys. Well, I suppose, yeah. I mean, Ed, we'll start with, I suppose, how did it all start? I mean, you've been going around the world on your C90 or crap bike, as you describe it, for a while now. And you started, I think, Malaysia, back to the UK. What made you sort of get into this in the first place?
The first thing was I heard about the Elephant Rally. That was the world's largest winter motorcycle rally.
Yeah.
And a Husqvarna 610 at the time. You know, brilliant engine. I could waft across Europe effortlessly, put some enduro tires on it, and then smash out the last bit. And then somebody at work went, "Well, you can always take your C90 to save on fuel." And I was like, but is that no, Ed, no, I'm taking the piss. Can't do it. Like, what do you mean I can't do it? And he's like, what does it? All right, it's on. And that honestly was the exact moment that all of it started, and it just snowballed from there.
Cool. So did you take the C90 to the Elephant Rally then? I didn't know you'd been to that. That's a mad thing, that Elephant Rally. What was that like?
I've been there 5 times now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, first time ever, like, so before that, my longest motorcycle ride was about 50 miles or so. And then it was like, I know, the other side of Germany. Yeah, and it's absolute chaos. The best way I've ever described it is if World War I was a drinking game, but they still had trenches. That's basically what the Elephant Rally would be like. It's absolutely awesome.
And just for people who don't know, it's midwinter, it's snow everywhere, and it's a lot of people on solo motorbikes freezing in the middle of Germany somewhere. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's held in the last weekend of January because statistically that's the coldest weekend of the year. You aren't allowed to take a car. You've got to ride there. And basically just sort of just hang out and just chat to other bikers and get drunk, and 3 days later wake up trying to work out where.
Love it. So you made it there on your C90 and you thought, right, now I'm just going to ride everywhere else on this C90. Is that, you loved it then, I guess? It worked well for the trip. And
yeah, it's what came from it was, yeah, if I'd have ridden the Husqvarna, the second that I got a little bit cold or a little bit wet, I just would have gone onto a motorway or an autobahn, you know, wound it up to 100 and just smashed it out. It's an absolutely amazing motorcycle. I've only just sold it, actually. I've had that for 12 years. But when you're on a 90, you're forced to have fun. And and there are times when it's raining and you've been awake for so long and you're just like, I wish I could do 80 miles an hour now and just get this over and done with. And you hate that moment. But when you're forced to only do 45, 50, and you've got to take the back roads, you've got to take the shortest distance or it will take you twice as long. So you're forced to go through little villages and random, and you've got to stop more and sleep more often. So your trip, rather than 3 days, has got to take 6. And it forces you to have fun.
Yeah, love it. That's a good way to look at it. I was going to ask you later, like, why do you actually take that bike? But that's it, I guess. It creates more adventure. You get to see more of the world and experience more things and experience more breakdowns too, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, if you treated it better than what I do, you'd probably be all right. But my sort of the main purpose of a motorbike, as far as I'm concerned, is to turn it into as many memories as possible and wear it out and knacker it and repair it. You convert it into memories. Don't
nice.
really think about its resale value. So
Yeah,
it's like,
nice.
you want to ride through the Arctic Circle in winter, you want to go somewhere where you've got to kickstart it when it's -25. Yeah, your piston rings aren't going to like kickstart at -25, but I'd rather wear out the engine and have to rebuild it and experience that rather than, well, I've never ridden it in the wet and I can sell it for more than I bought it for. Relations, get a bank loan. I don't understand.
Love it, man. Such a good attitude to have. And all I think is funny is all that stuff's true as well. You actually have ridden it in the Arctic Circle and tried to kickstart it at -25. Crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've abused it to within an inch of his life. I did actually break it in half. It was 2 weeks before going to Alaska. Absolute, hand on heart. I'm not religious, but I'll do it anyway. Pray to Honda. 2 weeks before I shipped it out to Alaska, I was riding down the road and I was going, why is my headlight blinding people? Because it shouldn't be that high, because I put a HID light in it, one of the proper ones. And then I was like, sure, I've got less ground clearance than I had before. And 90 had actually broken in half. And she was actually dragging in the middle, and the handlebars were facing more. And forget about that much ground clearance. So, and somewhere I've got the footage, took it over to my mate Duncan's house. We put it on his bike ramp, strapped the front and back wheels down, and put a trolley jack in the middle of it, and just jacked it up until it went straight. Got it roughly right with the tape measure, welded her up, and then within a week she was in a crate, posted off to Alaska, and then I did another 45,000 miles on it.
Oh my God. Nice and safe. Good strong weld there then.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for a bodge, and there's a time and a place for doing a proper repair, and we did actually do it right, but it did look quite ridiculous jacking up the bike to put it straight, thinking I'm about to ride this for, what I thought was 20,000 miles from Alaska to Argentina, but turned out to be over double that. So.
Nice.
Awesome. So, mate, in terms of then, I suppose one of the things that we probably should talk about as well, as we sort of mentioned, is your sort of filmmaking. It's quite unique with all your adventures, unique in a good way. Was that always a plan? Film them, make short films and that sort of stuff, or was it something you stumbled across when you first started getting into it?
Completely accidentally. So my trip to the Elephant Rally, I had a couple of bits of footage. The following year, I did it with some friends. Standard thing, had a GoPro mounted, cut it to some music. It was terrible, the standard rite of passage. And then shipped my bike out to Malaysia. I planned to film something maybe, but I wasn't sure. Stayed with a guy and I went, I've got my iPhone that's got a good camera on it. He's like, no, go out, spend 300 quid, buy yourself a handheld camera, which is waterproof, shockproof, probably ED-proof, and it's got an optical zoom, and start filming. And the first footage was horrendous because I'd never heard my voice on camera before. Standard thing, you think you sound awful. I didn't know what to say. First bit of footage, I'm talking about how interesting it is that in Malaysia they have the British 3-pin plug. Riveting adventure motorcycle footage. But I just started filming it more and more because coming from the West Country and from a Western country as well with our Western media, basically I was under the impression that if I went to a country full of brown people that I was going to get murdered. That's the standard thing that you're brought up to believe. And then when I was there, I actually discovered, hang on a minute, this is amazing. This is brilliant. So I started, maybe I was filming it for my friends back home to go like, hey guys, don't, also to my mum, you don't need to worry about me. This place is awesome. But then I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll film it for other people because I went out there a bit apprehensive, but I'm willing to risk my life in order to live a life. And I will go quite far down that route. I'll try and have some get outs, some emergency backup plans, but the purpose of life for me is to have fun, not to live a long time. I'll try and do both. But a lot of people, if they're a bit scared of going around the world, then they won't. So I was thinking maybe I can help push them over the edge, show them that it's safe. And yeah, I just started filming it. I didn't really know what I was doing. So my tactic was to talk to the camera as if I was having a Skype call with my friends. Because I thought, well, that way I'm not acting because I can't act. And if I convey it like that, then at the very least, my friends will maybe think they're here with me. It will just be like on a 2-week satellite link as I edit it. And yeah, and it just sort of carried on. I was learning to edit as I went. By the time I got back, I had about 1.5 million views on YouTube, I think, which sort of like slowly added up. And I checked the stats, and I was like, "What the hell happened there?" And then then I did another couple of trips. Went to the Arctic Circle in winter. Then I guided a tour back from Mongolia, and then met Rachel, and then rode from Alaska to Argentina. And all of my editing was always done by me on the road. So every video is probably better than the previous one. And yeah, eventually it just sort of ended up just getting better and better and learning how to make things more watchable. And yeah, it's just sort of ended up where I am now, really.
Yeah. And where you are now with the filmmaking, I guess, is your most recent film, which I've just watched actually, episode 14 of your latest series, I think it is. And that's got like almost as many views, 680,000 views or something it's got in the past month or something. It's insane, man.
Yeah, it went, I logged into my YouTube analytics because I started to notice that something was a bit up, and it gave me a picture of a balloon and an upwards arrow, and it went, "Good news, traffic on your channel has increased 8,900%. It's like, ooh, okay. Yeah, and my subscribers that I'd gained in 9 years of my channel, I doubled that in 3 weeks.
Mad.
Wow. So, and I don't know if the algorithm clicked over. I thought my editing on that was particularly good because it took me 6 weeks and I put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
But some things just clicked. And of course, then people, when they watch that video, then decide to watch the rest of them.
I think it's probably just that you take your bike on a yacht or on a sailing boat in a bag. I think that's why the internet wanted to see someone do that, is pack a bike into a bag and carry it on as hand luggage. So yeah.
Well, if you're going to charge people £1,000 to take a motorcycle, no matter what the size, and you're going to offer unlimited luggage, not motorcycle shaped, and you're going to allow engineers on your boat, eventually someone's going to take a bike as hand luggage.
Well, that was obviously then, that was the first episode you released for quite a while, but I guess with it being so successful, that must have been like giving you a bit of encouragement to crack on with the next episodes and whatnot. How many more episodes do you reckon you've got of the Argentina to Alaska to Argentina? Sorry, is there quite a few more to come, or?
I think there's 2 episodes. I think when you say my filmmaking is unique, one of the things about it is that I don't know what I've filmed. I can't remember. And I probably can't tell you a week later because I only film the things that I find interesting. Sometimes I'll actually do some proper filmmaking and stitch together. But so I've looked through all of the footage for Peru and Ecuador, and I think that will make an episode. It's all of that footage came to 8.5 hours. That's been cut down to 1 hour-ish. And I'm in the process currently now from this hotel room in Dubai of turning it into an episode. In theory, it shouldn't be too long. If it were to be a 2-hour thing, I'd have to split it. I think there's one for Peru and Ecuador, and then one more for Bolivia and Argentina, which are the final countries. I think that'll be one episode, but I don't know until I start the edit.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So, and then, I mean, what's next after that? Do you think you'll get on another C90 adventure one day, or is it just?
Well, I mean, I will be.
Yeah.
The reason why the final episode of this trip will be quite difficult for me to make is that I've got to ultimately talk about where I finally achieved round the world travel. I finally ticked the box for my soul, and I was like, okay, I don't want to ride around the world anymore. I've done that.
Yeah.
I want shorter, sharper shots of chaos. Hence why I started guiding the tours and things. And at the end of the last video, I gave a teaser, which is to say, thank you for the support, for buying t-shirts and things for the channel and, getting me a bit of ad revenue. This means I now do have the money to do my trip next year, which I've been planning. It's a world first. It's never been done before. It's particularly ridiculous. And it's so I can't tell anybody about it.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah. I don't want anyone to steal the idea. I don't know if people can, but you would need such a bizarre set of skills to align. Like, you'd need to be a filmmaker and an engineer and love to be sadistic to yourself and do ridiculous things. So the chance of somebody else going in for that, because
man, I've got to tell you that we've been around the world on a scooter and cycle already, so we've done it. Probably, if that's what you're thinking. That's not, yeah.
It is far more ridiculous than that.
I feel like it's going to be the moon or something crazy. I feel like it's underwater, or it's polar, or it's something mad.
If you can guess it, then you're wrong.
Is it a hot air balloon based?
No. Once again, if you can think of it, then it's not that. Nobody can guess it.
Okay, cool.
But no, yeah. So I'm going more into sort of short, sharp sort of adventures and things that tax me more, because riding around the world became not boring, but it became sort of it wasn't even effortless. I don't know how to describe it. It's like when you become a master of something.
Yeah.
You know, like, you would hope that a neurosurgeon wouldn't find working on your brain incredibly difficult. For example, like, you know, it's difficult, but and it's I want to move on to stuff that I don't know if I can do.
New challenge,
yeah. That's what I'm going on to.
Cool. Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's one of the things when people like ask us, would you do it again? Our trip, and it's kind of like, would I do it again, literally again? No. Would I do it for the first time, knowing what I know now? Definitely. But then it's all, you want to try something fresh and a bit different and that sort of stuff. So, will it, I mean, I know you don't want to say too much, mate, but will it involve a C90 or something?
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It will involve mine. It's going to be 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
You didn't, and I mean, obviously you have already saw the benefits of that, but you didn't think of maybe something a little bit bigger or anything like that, but you're set on that 90, no change.
Well, it depends for what purposes. So like I said, since I was 19, I had a Husqvarna 610. Lovely bike. But for my adventure, it wouldn't be right, because I'd things, people wouldn't come up to me and think I was incredibly approachable, because they'd be like, oh, you know, he's on a really tall off-road bike. So I've heard about them, you know. They can be like bad people. Whereas if you see someone with a delivery bike, you're like, probably not a Hell's Angel. But I sold that a couple of months ago. But I've had a KTM 500 EXC for a year now. You know, because if I want to go out and have fun and really smash out the miles and not interact with culture and people and randomness as much, then that's the bike that I'll take. And I think I might do something on that 500. I've just got to decide what, really.
Yeah.
Nice. I look forward to seeing it, man. I look forward to finding out what this crazy new idea is. Definitely. I wonder if you'll wear clothes for that. I don't know. I really hope, mate, that you've not been dressed from the waist down, but I really hope you're not going to show us that tonight. But I hope that's just something that you know forevermore.
I was tempted at the end of this, my exit to be me just standing up, turning around, but
we're still pre-watershed, Ed. Please do not do that. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. There you go. Well, man, that's pretty much all we've got time for in terms of chatting C90 Adventures tonight. But thanks so much for coming on, and enjoy Dubai, I guess, or the editing suite of your room. You're there for work, right? So
I'm quarantined in the hotel for 7 days because they don't want me to infect the ship that I'm working on. So yeah, I'm locked away for 7 days, then working on a ship for an amount of time, I think 6 days, and then flying home. So yeah, at the moment I am editing episode 15 of the YouTube series, just to try and make my time productive.
Sweet. Good news for us then. Good news for everyone who likes the YouTube series, because you're stuck and you can't do anything other than edit it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's very fast internet here, so yeah, there's a lot of movies going on.
Okay, good. Well, mate, we'll leave you to Netflix and chill then.
Pre-Walking Dead movies.
Awesome. Well, listen, mate, thanks so much for joining us. That was really cool. And for anyone who hasn't obviously seen that latest episode, do head over to the C90's YouTube channel because it is actually really good. And I'm looking forward to episode 15. So, yeah, thanks very much.
There's got some interesting things going on.
Yeah.
Cool.
I look forward to it, man. Thanks so much for coming on, Ed. Enjoy the rest of your trip to Dubai. Catch you later, man.
Yeah, if I get to see any of Dubai, I will hopefully enjoy it.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Cool. Catch you later. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Wow, that was obviously Ed March. What fun that was, chatting to him. He's locked up in his Dubai hotel room for a week, waiting to board a boat, do some work, and yeah, managed to get him on the show. Good stuff, mate. Another case of where lockdown really helped us get a top quality guest on the Armchair Adventure Festival, because Ed had no choice, really. It was us or Netflix again. So
yeah,
he chose us.
I think he actually said usually I wouldn't, but
Yeah.
no choice. He didn't say that actually. He said, "Yeah, that sounds good to me." But yeah, he was fun, interesting guy. Yeah, I enjoy his company actually.
You watched his YouTube series, mate? Or?
I've watched bits of it actually. I do quite enjoy it. It's very uniquely made, as we sort of said in the night. Yeah, so well worth a watch. If you haven't seen his YouTube series, guys, head over there and check it out. It's definitely worth. And like we said in the talk, if you unless you you would have watched the talk if you're watching this, or you just skip to the end to watch this, which would be an unusual thing to do. We said it. You know, he's done really well with his latest episode of Alaska to Argentina on C90 Adventures. So there you go. But yeah. That was a March, guys, and hope you enjoyed it.
Don't know why that tickled me so much. The thought of someone skipping through it just...
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.